morning and welcome to Ireland AM. Coming up, we are going to be talking to Michael Doherty, the healer who has treated a host of famous names, including Michael Flatley.
Now, Michael Doherty has been in the healthcare business for 25 years. His unique healing approach has made him a favourite amongst a number of celebrities. Clients include comedian Brendan Grace, footballer Gary Kelly, and I suppose most notably dancer Michael Flatley, who famously credited O'Doherty for his return to fitness after illness.
Michael joins us now with more. Good morning to you, Michael.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, we say you've been in the healthcare industry,
yes,
but a lot of people would say, well, exactly what qualifications does your man have?
Yeah, I think that's the great thing, I suppose, with over the years, the last 25 years. When we began this work, we studied in Yugoslavia initially, a complementary sort of medical practice that had been developed there, and came back to Ireland and started working with what we called the energy therapy at the time. And, of course, it made national headlines because people were getting better. But at that time, of course, then we needed to establish credibility around theory and understand why it is that people were getting ill. So then over the next 25 years, that's what we've done. You know, we've I suppose, created a healthcare system that has helped many in our community, Sinead.
Are you recognised by the medical profession?
Well, I work with a lot of medical people, and I think in modern medicine today sees the value of what, you know, the mindset is about, sees the value about how to deal with emotional stress, sees the value about importance of nutrition. I work with a number of them, from vascular surgeons to psychiatrists here in Dublin to other medical people in the UK, because I believe the way forward is to have an integrated system that you look at everything, but fundamentally you have to make the patient center of focus. While medicine and all of the things that we do have their role, ultimately, unless we educate the individual to take responsibility for their own health, they're not going to get better. I mean, we can treat symptoms and we can do all of these things, but it's only until people go back and have a look at their lifestyle, look at their stresses, you know, do the simple things. Simple changes in lifestyle is what has enabled people, like, as you mentioned, Michael and others, to recover.
The thing to remember, of course, is that we are conditioned, some would say brainwashed, to believe that traditional Western medicine is the only way.
That's it, yeah.
But we do that and then we forget that there's 1.5 billion Chinese have been doing what they've been doing for centuries. There's close to 1 billion Indians who've been dealing with Ayurvedic medicines for centuries, and it works for them. So what we accept as traditional Western medicine is not the only way.
Absolutely. And it's great because I did a radio documentary recently, and on part of that documentary as well was Professor Fergus Shanahan, Cork University, part of the Alpha Biologic Centre, and he makes a very clear statement. He says the diversity of what we eat on a daily basis has a direct effect on the diversity of bacteria in our gut, which in turn determines the type of illness that we will get. And he says the illnesses I'm talking about are cancers, various types of cancers, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, all of these things. So it's great to see medicine realizing the importance of what people are eating on a daily basis. And when we look particularly in family healthcare and children, the amount of children we see coming into our clinic with so many problems, a lot of it is really down to the convenient living, the convenient lifestyle, full of sugar, you know, pressure from social media, and it's causing so many problems.
But Michael, explain to us what because you do energy healing.
Yes.
That's how you call it. What is energy healing and how does it work?
Yeah, our primary focus obviously is the energy system of the body, because if we break the body down to its minute particle, we find energy. Professor Valerie Hunt in UCLA has spent 25 years mapping the entire bioenergetic process, and as you alluded to, Mark, earlier about the Chinese, we're very much aware of this.
It's all about energies and chi. And
exactly. So energy flows through us to keep us alive. But if we encounter emotional stress, trauma, birth stress, for example, if a child born through C-section, vacuum, forceps delivery, we're seeing the impact of that stress first at an energetic level. So our job is to scan the body using our hands outside the body to feel where the energies are blocked. Once we get that, and the particular area we focus on is the abdominal region, because when we're stressed, we overload the enteric nervous system, which is embedded in the gut. This is the energy system here. And when we overload that, the entire body responds from there. It stresses out, produces negative type hormones, and it tightens the gut, causes headaches, breathing issues. So we have found that once we release the overloading of stress of the abdominal area through the energy system, we have found that that has a huge impact, because if we can release the stress, the body can function itself.
so it's a bit like an engine then, so if you put bad or dirty fuel into an engine, then the car doesn't run properly.
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it. The key to it is the gut. You know, our emotions store here. You know,
well, they call it the second brain, don't they?
And it is, because, and the great thing, as I said to you, science has really begun to identify this. I mean, if you look at a lot of the neuroscience, for example, where they now use PET scans and MRI scans, but particularly PET scans, and now they're able to identify various sections of the brain that are not functioning when people have Parkinson's or when they're depressed. So what, I mean, if you look at GlaxoSmithKline are spending billions right now in the bioelectrical structure of the body, because what they're trying to do is stimulate the electrical activity. Our heart is governed by electrical activity, our brain, EEGs. You know, so it's all down to understanding the energy of the body electricity.
So when it came to Michael Flatley, who has credited you with restoring him to full health, how did you help him? Because he was seriously ill.
Yeah, Michael had a lot of issues. I mean, Michael, I suppose, reflected what goes on in the type of world he's in. Push, 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 achieve, achieve, achieve all the time. You know, driving, flying, food mightn't be the best, and expending huge amounts of energy. And suddenly he finds himself in a burnt-out situation. Now, the warnings are there much earlier for him, but he doesn't heed them, so he just gets burnt out. And one day the body just crashes, as it does with many, many people. He had 50 of the best medical doctors. He had 200 medical tests.
He was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah. He was, at one stage, I think he had some skin cancer or whatever. At the time he came, when he was ill, he was stressed because he had really burnout. My job was to, you know, explain to him, look at Michael, this is how your body functions. This is why your body is ill. What we need to do is we need to get the energy flowing, get your mindset focused, teach you to deal with your emotional stress, get a right nutritional program, and if you embrace that process, you will overcome this problem. And that's the challenge. People need to wake up out of the illusion that there's a magic wand or a magic pill or a magic hand. It's about education. If we can educate people, do the work we do, we can see huge change.
But do you think you have healing hands? Do you think you have a gift, per se?
Well, I think, no, I honestly believe that what I've done is I've developed a system to work with the energy. We train many people to do this, Sinead, and we train parents to work with their children. You know, over a period of a weekend, we train parents to work with their children who have special needs issues, and it really helps them to relax. So I think what we need to do is eliminate this idea that one of us is especially gifted. We all have the ability. There's nobody any different. It's about opening up our mindset and realizing that we have far greater powers, as Mark was alluding to earlier, with regard to how the energy functions.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. If people want to know more about what you do, Michael, how do they find out?
Yeah, michaelodoherty.com is my website, and people can go on there and they can see a lot of stuff and whatever.
Can I ask you, it's a dreadful question, but I have to ask this, and people will. Does this cost a lot of money? It
does. Not a lot of money, no. What we charge, it's a 4-day treatment. People come for 4 consecutive days for about an hour, and it costs €360 for the 4 days. But that's the base. But I mean,
it's the price of a nice weekend.
Yeah, it is. But you know, I always say to people, look, if you think health is expensive, try illness.
What is it? Somebody famously said, if you don't make time for fitness and health, you'll make time for illness.
But you know, sorry, but that's a very valid point. The most valuable asset we have in life,
your health is your wealth,
is time. And right now, as we're talking, it's shrinking. What people need to realise, stop living in the past, focus on the moment, and create the future by embracing the moment, and that's
well, speaking of time, we are out of it. We are being told to stop talking. Michael, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.